Let's play! My name is Anne, and I'm the founder of Specify and your facilitator for this behavior design workshop. First, a little bit about me. I have a master in persuasive design that I finished more than 10 years ago from Aalborg University. Since then, I've been working with different companies improving the user experience. For the past 5 years, it's been as the owner of Specify. Focus now is on behavior design and how we can include behavior design in our design process to create even better experiences. In this workshop, you will experience a strategic behavior design process. We build a behavior strategy and end up with design concepts to reach a target behavior. Before we start to play, I want to share the background for developing this strategic behavior design process. Based on the past 10 years of experience and based on interviews with people from the industry, both from Denmark but also from US and Canada, I've identified these challenges. The first challenge is that teams are experiencing that they're missing a shared understanding of the why. Why are we building these products? The second challenge is that behavior design is like this invisible layer in our design process. It's easy to talk about whether a button should be red or green, but we don't have a language for behavior design. We need that in order to be strategic about how we incorporate behavior design in our design process and exploit that knowledge about how people make decisions. The third challenge is that the design process is not structured and the cooperation within the team can be optimized. The fourth challenge is start building the solution before really understanding the problem. The fifth challenge is about users or customers not reaching the target behavior. Something else happens that can be good or bad. In the worst case, it can be perceived manipulation. Something else happens that is not expected, and that is what this challenge is all about. The last challenge is about being technology or features focused. It's when we start with, let's build this app because the competitors have it, instead of starting with the foundation. What's the target? What are we reaching for? Why are we doing this? This workshop is a quick edition of the Behavior Design Sprint. It consists of 5 days. In the first day, we build empathy, a shared understanding of the user or customer. Who is this person? What drives this person? What are the needs? What are the frustrations? We include exercises from the behavior design toolbox, and then we build the behavior strategy. The strategy to reach the target behavior. So part of that is building the foundation. What are we trying to achieve here? We combine the user goal with the business goal. On day number 2, we continue building our behavior strategy. We include drivers. These are techniques from psychology, rhetoric, behavioral economics to change behavior. We include a selected amount of drivers with the help from a driver's funnel. The driver's funnel is built on research based on what we already know at this stage. And then we end up with selected drivers to include in our ideation phase. On day number 3, we start sketching the ideas from our ideation phase. We dig deeper, exploit the research, exploit the knowledge we have to help this user to get to the target behavior. On day number 4, we test. We test what is possible at this stage, and then on day number 5, we evaluate. What was the test results? What is the status on our behavior strategy? Is there actually a higher risk that this will not go right and then be perceived as manipulation, backfire? Or will it go right? Do we reach the target behavior? So this workshop is a quick edition of this sprint. But how does this sprint differentiate from Jack Knapp's design sprint? In this workshop, we apply a play-based approach. We include the Specify behavior design game to keep it more engaging, but also to facilitate the participants in choosing the right approach to solve the problem. As I mentioned before, we include exercises from the behavior design toolbox. With a participatory mindset, we help each other striving for solutions that are not manipulative, but actually help our user. The facilitator is not neutral, but an expert that with the game challenges and gives feedback to the participants. This is a behavior strategy. The behavior strategy helps us build the foundation. It consists of company, user, the user situation, the goal, the problem, and the selection of drivers to reach the target behavior. It's a story and not a linear process, because all of these elements have to be adapted, tailored for the specific case. Furthermore, all of these elements can be adjusted along the way. Sometimes we need to go back and forth. In a full setup, we would do exercises from the toolbox to all of the steps in this behavior strategy. But for this purpose here, I will introduce the company, the user, and the user situation. We will soon start the play-based workshop, and then we will include exercises for the goal, the problem, and the selection of drivers. And we will do that in a 5-step process. The participants of this workshop will complete this 5-step process and get an opportunity to earn 5 points along the way. In the first step, the teams identify the behavior goal. They can get up to 1 point for that exercise. In the second step, they identify the problem. In the third step, they select drivers with the help from the facilitator and the driver's funnel, and they can get up to 1 point for that exercise. In the fourth step, the teams brainstorm with the selected drivers, and in the fifth step, they sketch and dig deeper with the drivers. They have a chance here to earn up to 3 points based on their presentation and how they reflect with the behavior strategy. In this workshop, the superheroes play against the detectives. The detectives are like Sherlock Holmes, interested in this person and why this person wants to reach this target behavior. What is this person motivated by? The superheroes fight for the good and against the evil. Both teams' power is the behavior strategy. Each team can get up to 5 points. This process can be applied for different companies across different industries: health, banking, pension, dating, etc. This case that we're going to work with in this workshop is an online supermarket. Now it's time to start building the behavior strategy for this online supermarket. The first focus is on the company goal. The company goal in this case is to increase the conversion rate. In a full setup, we will also specify what would that be, and then when do we expect to achieve it. This way, we know when we have reached success. Now it's time to meet John. John is 69 years old. He's divorced, he's on pension, and he lives alone. He usually shops in the supermarkets in the neighborhood. Due to the coronavirus, John needs to stay home and wants to purchase his groceries online. John is motivated by fear, and he's also very social. Normally, John takes his handwritten shopping list with him when he goes grocery shopping, and that list is based on offers he checked out beforehand. But in the shop, he's also often tempted to products on sale. Normally, his shopping takes more than 10 minutes. Next in the behavior strategy is the situation. John's situation is that he's sitting at home in his living room by the table with his computer. Now that we have completed the first 3 parts of the behavior strategy, it's time to continue to goal. This also marks the first exercise that we have in our 5-step process for this game. To define the behavior goal, we apply one of the exercises from the behavior design toolbox. And we end up with one result, one behavior goal. In this case, it's a new behavior from now on. John used to be shopping in the grocery shop, and now he needs to purchase online for the first time. Defining the behavior goal is crucial because the process going forward from here is tailored to this specific behavior goal. The status right now is that the superheroes have 1 point and the detectives have 0 points. The reason for this is that the superheroes reflect and end up with this specific behavior goal. It is of course possible to go back and change the behavior goal later, but that will influence the rest of the behavior strategy. The next step in the game process is to define the problem. This is one of the models that can help us identify the problem. In order for behavior change to happen, we need 3 things at the same time. We need triggers, ability, and motivation. For instance, we see a lot of people in the gym around January 1st. People are highly motivated to train more, maybe to lose weight, etc. But then over time, people stop coming. They lose motivation. They don't succeed with their behavior change. So what about John? Is John motivated to purchase his groceries online? He is motivated to get groceries and he wants to try it out online. We don't start with the focus on motivation, that's the hardest part. But in this specific case, we will work with ability. In a sprint, we would dig really deep into the 3 different elements and then evaluate that, and based on that come up with a starting point. But for this purpose here, for this workshop, we focus on ability. Ability can be these 6 different elements. For example, time. If a checkout flow takes too much time, that can be a barrier to reach the behavior goal. In this case with John, We know it's his first time that he needs to do his grocery shopping online, so he needs to break a routine because he normally goes to the shop. And more importantly, we expect there to be a brain load for John. And we want to make this as simple as possible for him to complete his order online. So for this workshop here, we focus on reducing the mental effort for John. So the problem that we're working with in this workshop is, how might we reduce John's mental effort to purchase online? So now we have completed company, user, situation, goal, and problem in our behavior strategy. And next and final are the drivers. So selecting drivers is the third step in our game process. And now the teams have an opportunity to earn 1 point. Drivers are insights, techniques from psychology, behavioral economics, rhetoric to change behavior. They're really good in the ideation phase for opening up new ideas, being more creative and innovative, but also for improving our design discussions. There are more than 70 drivers in this game, based on content from many different researchers, and communicated in a way so they're easy to apply. So now the question is, how do we select from more than 70 drivers to end up with a number we can include in our design process and that fits the purpose? We need the driver's funnel. The driver's funnel is based on research, it's based on the evaluation of the effectiveness of the drivers, and also in combination with the behavior strategy and what we already know, including the knowledge we have about John, that he's motivated by the social. So we end up with these 3 drivers to help reduce John's mental effort to purchase online. Of course, other drivers can be relevant too. This is not a fact list, but it's a good starting point. So the first one is reduction. Reduction is good to reduce complexity and to reduce the mental effort for John to complete the task. It's especially good when the user is not interested in the advanced part, and in this case, John is not. So we want to make it as simple as possible, and in this case, then reduction can be applicable. So the other 2 drivers are social learning and cooperation. Social learning is about facilitating that the user can learn by observing others performing that target behavior. That can lead to increased engagement. Cooperation is about letting people help each other out. That can make it easier to perform a target behavior and can lead to a shared trust. So now we have the full behavior strategy, and we have 3 drivers that the teams can pick from, the brainstorm and finally to the sketches. So the superheroes choose reduction and social learning, and the detectives choose reduction and cooperation. In behavior design, we value decision making and argumentation for the choices that we make. Each team does that, so each team gets 1 point. The status right now is that superheroes are in the lead with 2 points against 1 point for the detectives. Now it's time to apply the selected drivers in a brainstorm. So both teams have 3 ideas. The first idea from the detectives is to have a pre-filled basket sent to John for one of the people in his network. This way it will reduce complexity and will be easier for John just to adjust that basket and send it right away. The second idea is to offer groceries based on food plans that are based on people like John, like for instance Casper or Thomas, that are similar to John. The third idea is about a shared shopping experience. It's about sharing your grocery shopping list with your neighbors. This way it can be more engaging, and at the same time they can save some money on the expenses for having it sent out. The first idea from the superheroes is to have a virtual assistant help John. The virtual assistant can offer John to see Paul. Paul is like John. He's also on pension and he has done his grocery shopping for the first time. By watching him in action during the grocery shopping, that can help encourage John and make it easier to do his own first purchase. The second choice is also about social learning, to be inspired by a lot of other people like John. During grocery shopping every Sunday afternoon, they can inspire and help each other out. On top of that, there could be a possibility to have like a shared discount. The third idea is about pre-made shopping lists. Based on behavior from people like John, there could be shopping lists that could fit John's needs. Could be vegetables in season, special weekend treats, or something else. This way is a way to reduce complexity for John and make it easier for him to purchase. Now it's time for the final step. The teams will start sketching their ideas and apply the drivers with the help from the behavior strategy. They get the chance to earn up to 3 points each. Both teams sketch several ideas. Here you can see one example from each of the teams. The detectives have visualized some of the thoughts for Shop Together with Your Neighbors, and the superheroes have visualized thoughts on learn from others that are like you. Applying more drivers can open up even more creativity and innovation and contribute to the argumentation and choices for each design. So which concept is the most persuasive? Which concept has a higher chance of reducing John's mental effort to purchase online? We can apply many methods to test that, but one method we can apply right here, right now, is an expert evaluation. Shop with your neighbors from the detectives. The reason is the application of the behavior strategy. This concept can support the KPI to increase the conversion rate, and not only help John, but also his neighbors. John is social, and it's expected that social drivers can help John. This concept exploits the driver cooperation, but also reduction to reduce complexity, to reduce the mental effort for John when purchasing online. And it supports that it's not only a one-time behavior, but a behavior that can start now and go on and on. Furthermore, cooperation can also lead to a shared trust between John and his neighbors, and over time it can also increase loyalty towards this specific online supermarket. John also likes to save money, and this way John and his neighbors can also save some delivery costs. In a sprint, we would dig deeper, we would test more, evaluate more, and also look into, can a surprise behavior happen? Will the intended behavior happen, or will it backfire? Can it be perceived as manipulation, or are there other risks that we should look into before we move on with this specific concept? The result is that the detectives get 3 points. The superheroes only got 1 point because they forgot about John and some of the other core elements in the behavior strategy. This means that we now have a winner. Congratulations to the detectives. Now you've experienced some of the exercises and methods in the Specify Behavior Design Toolbox. I want to give you 3 takeaways from this workshop. 1, the behavior strategy can help you achieve both the business and the user goal. 2, the selection of drivers can be tailored to your specific case. And 3, the process can be playful and engaging. And you can go from problem to design concepts in just a few hours. Thank you for watching this behavior design workshop. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you want to play, or do you want to learn more about the behavior design toolbox? Then you can check out specify.com. You can also reach me at Anne@specify.dk. I would love to hear your feedback, comments, or questions. See you